Hello, amazing, wonderful you, Susanna Mittermaier here, directly from the Pragmatic Psychology Center in Vienna. We're just having a class here this weekend, and oh my goodness, it's such an incredible acknowledgement how fast change is possible. And that is not normal. And probably we just seldom acknowledge how different we are with the speed of space and with the change we are choosing. And that change can be so easy and so fast. And that's not normal yet out there in the world, because a lot of people make suffering real. And, knowing that they have choice is still something that people are not aware of. Like, I see that so often when I have conferences with pragmatic psychology, and the people in the audience are doctors and therapists and people with all kinds of different titles. And then I talk about pragmatic psychology and about us having choice, no matter what past we have. Like, even if people have experienced abuse or whatever they have experienced, like, the point of view out there in this reality is that our past determines our future, and based on your culture, based on your upbringing, that is a direct projection on your future. And those of us who are pragmatic rather than dramatic, pragmatic means doing what works, we know that choice is a reality, and choice is always, no matter what has been in your past, you always have the choice to change your future and change the direction of your future. And the interesting thing is, lately when I speak at these conferences, it's starting to be heard, which is a really cool acknowledgement that those tools of empowerment, where people are empowered to know what they know, rather than needing someone else to tell them what's true and what's right, or having someone else tell them if they have a diagnosis or if they are sick or healthy. It's starting slowly, but surely it's starting to change. And what I realized speaking at these events is it's starting to be heard in a way where people tell me afterwards, "Oh my God, thank you so much for saying this. I haven't dared saying that because I would have been judged. But when you speak about this, it speaks to me, because it speaks to what I know is possible, what I know is true, but no one has ever said it." And this is where we come in with an acknowledgement. Like, oftentimes with the tools we have available, with those pragmatic tools, what we do is we say things that they've always known that, but they've never been acknowledged for it. And once you acknowledge someone for their difference, and when they can hear it, it opens up so much space, and it opens up a space for them to be. And that's something I have experienced a lot in my work in the psychiatric hospital. I was working there as a psychologist and as a therapist, and I also did a lot of, they're called neuropsychological testings, which means, people come and the doctor says, "Can you please check if this person has this and this diagnosis?" And then I do a test, and then we have a conversation afterwards and an evaluation. And what I've seen with people who were diagnosed or are diagnosed is not that they're wrong, but that they're different. And what always struck me was that they basically have a different perspective that has been made wrong or not been acknowledged. But the moment when they're being acknowledged that they're not wrong but different, their body can relax, and they can start to use their so-called difference that has been made wrong or that has been diagnosed. They can use that difference and that diagnosis as a compliment, as an award of difference, and can use their way of seeing the world as a resource to find out how they see the world, and that this is actually a gift. And we see this a lot with, it's starting to be acknowledged with people out there who have autism and Asperger's. Their different perspective is being used in a lot of businesses. Like, they have special capacities that a lot of IT businesses are using nowadays. So it's starting to get out there that difference is not a wrongness, but a strongness. And this is really And from that, like from the conversations I had with these patients, and knowing that there's something different possible, pragmatic psychology was born. And pragmatic means doing what works, because oftentimes a lot of approaches from this reality are very dramatic. They are validating the problem. Like when somebody comes to a psychologist and they say, I have a lot of fear, then the fear itself is not questioned. It is seen as a reality. And that's something that we, like when I work with pragmatic psychology with people, like everything is questioned until the person finds out what's true for them. And that sets them free, like nothing else. So the invitation with this live is for you to know that there's a different possibility out there, and also for you to know that you can facilitate a different possibility for other people. And I've been creating a new life form with pragmatic psychology, which is called the Pragmatic Practitioner. The Pragmatic Practitioner are classes where you can learn how you, in your unique way, can facilitate change. Facilitating means making easier. Like you're basically the easier maker for yourself and other people. And you learn in these classes to use those tools and find your way of communicating them out there to people who know them or not know them, but where you can facilitate ease and change and possibilities for people who are looking for that. Because there are a lot of people right now who are looking for ease, joy, and glory. Whether they have cognized that or acknowledged that or not doesn't matter, but a lot of people are looking for change. And what if you choose to be available? What if you start getting over your own judgments of what you can handle, what kind of people you can handle, who you cannot handle? And once you get over those points of view, you have a different way of being in the world, and you can be available for all the people, all the clients, all the beings that are looking for you to be facilitated. Because people are looking for you because of you. It's not the method that's the primary source, like whether it's access or whatever whatever the method is called, is not really like why people come to you. People come to you because of you, and because you have like what you experienced and have chosen in your life, and what you got out of those experiences, the awareness you got, your awareness of choice. That is the valuable product, and that is something that people are looking for. And you, together with the tools, you become a firework of magnitude, of irresistible space and possibilities. And again, people are looking for this now more than ever. So let's acknowledge that. And what if you choose to be available? And what if you knew you couldn't fail? And this is what this and so much more is what the Pragmatic Practitioner classes are inviting you to learn how to use the tools to facilitate anything and anyone, including yourself. And this is something where I know, wow, imagine if every household had that available. And like after these Pragmatic Practitioner classes, people are like have this confidence of going out there and facilitating, people in private sessions, in classes, or they go out in businesses and, offer the tools to, business coachings or schools or hospitals. And, because this thing is here, let's get the tools out there to people who know about them and people who do not know about them. So how can you speak about these tools without using a certain language, but saying what people can hear? And so in these classes, you learn how to do that in your unique way. We have practices, like we practice facilitation on each other as well. And you can also become an official Pragmatic Practitioner. There's a whole program for that. And for these, there's a 3-day class where you can learn that. For that class, you need a bars and a foundation class as a prereq, because we're using these tools that you learned in bars and foundation to rocket ship into you inspiring the world your way. And also, like, you can bring all your questions, but usually, like, people ask all kinds of questions, like, okay, specific facilitations of relationships, of diagnosis, of like whatever comes up, and also, including you, not just like the tools, but you as the source of the change. So this is the 3-day class where you need bars and foundations and prereq. If you don't have bars and foundation yet, but you would like to do a class like this, there is a possibility. There is a 5-week program that's called Facilitating the Power Beyond Pain. For this class, you don't need any prereqs. It's 5 weeks, an online program. And this is a program that got created from Gary Douglas was asking me, can you write a book about power and pain? And I wrote that book about power and pain. And when I was done writing that book, there was like this thing of, it's not time to get that book out there. And it's not time for that book. So I asked, what else can this be? And the awareness was, do a class. So from the whole journey of writing that book, inspired by Gary's question and request, the 5-week program was created. And it's truly about a totally different paradigm about pain and all kinds of pain, like physical, but also a lot of psychological pain, anxiety, fear, stress, frustration, any kind of pain. Because pain is something that people have made normal, but it doesn't have to be normal. So what is the power behind pain, and how can you facilitate that for you and other people? That's that 5-week program. And then there's one more possibility. There's a 1-day class of Pragmatic Practitioner you can take. You don't need any prereqs for that either. And it's basically the 3-day version, like a 1-day class, which is kind of like the 3-day class, but just like basically 1 day of, diving into those tools and, learning more about facilitation in a pragmatic way. So these are like right now the possibilities on the calendar for November and December. And if you have any questions, let us know. And I am super excited. We have a lot of amazing pragmatic practitioners out there already. They're doing their magic, facilitating themselves and so many other people. There's a whole program to become a pragmatic practitioner, and these guys are truly revolutionizing the world with empowering people and showing them what else is possible. They're using, their pragmatic practitioner magic in private sessions, in businesses, in schools, in their own families, in their own lives. And we have a lot of events through the years where the pragmatic practitioners are available and showing what they are creating. And there's, if you want to check it out, there's one event I need some help with the date, in December. It's called a Global Pragmatic Practitioner event. This is where I'm inspiring, and I'm inspiring. I started with inspiring with some change, and then the pragmatic practitioners take over with their private session. So you can have a private session for you with one of the pragmatic practitioners to just experience and be facilitated and nurtured by what else is possible. And I just got a little hint, it's on December 3rd. Yeah, so a lot of possibilities with this life form called pragmatic psychology. I'm sure you also know that there's a lot of books out there, or a lot. I wrote 4, one together with Gary Douglas. And so I am thrilled that there's this different way of facilitating change in a pragmatic way, which this world so requires, because this world still loves suffering and the reality of it. And we know something totally different is possible. So if this speaks to you, we're so looking forward to inspiring you and being inspired by you. And if you have any questions, let us know. Goodbye for now from the Pragmatic Psychology Center in Vienna.